We are actually live now. Yeah, alrighty then. And so before we do anything, Debbie, please show people your t-shirt. Just wait, I should be able to make you full screen, just not me.
It is cool.
Because it is Star Wars Day today. And so this is Unpack the Stack. And we have my good friend Debbie here with us from her new house. And you have internet, right? Did you just plug in today?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. It
Yes.
seems to be perfectly fine. It works.
It's amazing. Wi-Fi is a luxury. Oh my God.
Oh, yes, I know. All right. So on this Star Wars Day, we're going to be doing some fun stuff, right? We're going to work with Playwright. But before we do any of that, can you kind of tell me who you are, where you work, what you do? I think a lot of people will know, but still, for the form, let's go there.
Just in case. Okay. So
Exactly.
yes, I am Debbie O'Brien, Senior Program Manager at Microsoft, advocating for Playwright. I'm also Nuxt Ambassador, so most people will know me from Nuxt. And in my free time, I literally cycle, run, and do as much sport as possible. And I like to advocate for that as well, so that people are not just on the computer all day. So make sure you're out and having fun, not just spending 12 hours in front of a screen. That's me.
If we stop the stream now, you have done your duty. We're good.
Yay! Go home.
Because this is a thing, right? Like recently, I've been so busy, I somehow forgot to actually move my body because there's so much happening. But the fun thing is, when you actually do move more, you get better at your job again because there's more calm in you. So it's this weird place. And so you recently inspired me to go for a run. That was a little painful, but at least I did it, you know?
Well done.
Because I used to run marathons. Even with this big body, that worked. But that's too long ago to be smooth again. Anyways, this is
So
not
it's
our
like creating
subject.
new habits.
Yeah, it's like I just have to do it a few times to just get it in again. Anyway, so tell us a bit about Playwright. What is the best way of like what is it built for? Because it's not actually unit test, right?
No, it's end-to-end testing.
Exactly.
And it's kind of like, so before, right? Think of that testing triangle. The end-to-end test was that tiny little bit at the top that you do last and you spend as least amount of time on. And that, like, you need to start turning that triangle upside down.
Okay.
Right? You need to start with end-to-end tests. End-to-end tests should be your, the first test you write and the most important test you write. If you're only going to write one test, write an end-to-end test. If you need unit tests, then go ahead and do those unit tests. But end-to-end first. And not just because I work at Playwright am I saying this, but because it makes more sense, right? Because before, we didn't have the tooling to be able to write really fast tests when it came to end-to-end. And now we do. So now there is no excuses to test your application how your user would use the application, right? And that's what we want to do. If the user is going to click a button, we want to test that button is clickable and does whatever that button is meant to do. We don't want to test implementation details around the button. So
in the end, it sounds so logical, right?
Exactly.
You test the interface that the user will use to buy your product. Of course, you're going to test it. Yes. And interestingly, in my whole career, I've probably written a few end-to-end tests, but most of it was unit tests and integration tests. And now that I think about it, it's like, why? Why didn't we just test the interface? That's actually the thing people see.
Yep.
And that's where most stuff goes wrong in the end. And
because a lot of companies are doing this manually. Right? They're manually getting someone to sit there and click and fill out forms and press buttons.
Yes. And this is what we used to do, just manual QA. And then these manual QA people are so smart because the moment they start to become annoying to developers, they're really good.
Yeah, they can find everything.
Exactly. And also have like this really black and mind brain. But if we can replace a bit of that with some automated tools, they have a better life, I think. Because they don't have to be
their job not so repetitive.
Exactly. Keep on clicking the stuff. It just gets a little crazy. And so we looked when we prepared this to, how can we test this stuff? And I think the most fun bit is that you just tell me how to do it because I have not touched Playwright. At Uniform, where I work, we use it a lot. I just haven't looked at it even. I haven't touched it. It's not my job. So I'm going to go and do this for the first time while you guide me. So
Nice.
it probably reflects more on my inability to follow your rules than your ability to teach me. I think you're going to be fine. I think you have done that before. And so, should we just try and see what
Yeah.
happens?
Do you have a project?
Yes, I have
Cool.
something that I built for JamstackConf as an example of building something with Nuxt and Vue and personalization, and it's called Turbo Tutorials. It never
Nice.
really took off. I didn't put that much into it, but I built a lot of fun things. So let me just share my screen so we can have a look at what that actually is. I'll just share a tab, I think. Let's see if that works.
And you never wrote any tests for this.
This has no tests. I know this.
Tim is a typical developer.
I am, you know what? When it's not actual, like this stuff, I did it for my job to figure out, hey, how does a uniform SDK work and all those things. But essentially, if it's not for a product release or a customer release or something like that, I just don't write them. And I used to write so many tests. I was one of those people like, do it, unit test first, all that stuff, right? I just don't do it anymore. And this might be my wake up call, which is cool. Right. And so essentially, this is a project where you can watch a tutorial, watch it on YouTube, and you see some of the comments, but you can also then see, hey, there's this is about data fetching and it's Nuxt 3 and it's a relative intermediate complexity. Do I need to zoom this in maybe a little bit? And so you can just watch the YouTube clip and learn a little bit. You can see the transcript. There's a bunch of stuff here. But then you can also just click on, hey, I want to see more Nuxt 3. So I should zoom out just a bit. Yeah. So now it's selected Nuxt 3. And you see a whole bunch of Nuxt 3 things. But you can also click data fetching. And like this. And then it selects that. And then you watch this. And then the interesting thing is this for now seems quite simple. But all of it comes from Algolia. And it actually shows you similar tutorials.
Nice.
And it even gives you like the similarity here. But also other things. When I now go back to the homepage and I clicked on a bunch of stuff, it says, hey, you've watched a bunch of intermediate things, but also you probably like these Nuxt things with data fetching the most. And so essentially it's keeping a profile of you of what you might like to see. And then there's some other things about, not this one. Here, yeah. And so you can even check it. We can go quite deep on that. You have a profile. And you don't have to be logged in. We just track your browser, essentially. And you can see, I like complex and intermediate and only Nuxt 3. But when I now go maybe to a tutorial about media, about images. So this is now an image one. I go back and then you can actually see, there's only a little bit of media came in because I watched so many other ones. So we can just make that a little bit stronger. Let's see, media. Let's make that a bit stronger. So you can see that. And based on that, this whole list also changes, right? When I reset my profile or update to something else. And so I think there's a ton of tests we can do on this.
There sure is. Like, imagine if one of those went wrong, right?
I imagine they will. So what would be the way? So should we first discuss what we test, or do we just get started and assign it later? What is generally your approach here?
Well, we can install Playwright first just to get you kind of used to seeing it, using it.
Yeah, let's do that. Let me just share my screen completely.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
And yeah, like how it works and stuff, and kind of like even just run the demo tests, and then we can say, right, now we understand Playwright, let's write our test.
Perfect. Okay, so where do I get started?
Well, you've got a GitHub repo, I'm assuming, or something in VS Code that you can open.
I just have an open project that I started. It has nothing in it right now.
But we can test on your site if you want to. So there are two ways, right? You can put your test right in your code, which is, I always like my tests in my code. If you, for this project, for this live stream, just want to have it in a separate project, that's fine, because we can just put the URL and test the URL. So you can test a local dev server, your staging URL, the production URL, etc.
Let's do that first, because I know when I built this project, this one, this is built on an alpha version of Nuxt 3 and an alpha SDK of Uniform and a very alpha SDK of Nuxt Algolia. So the moment
and you have no tests.
And I have no tests. And the moment I hit this up and do npm run dev or yarn install or something, it will just die. So this is like the best and the worst project for this live stream, essentially.
Okay, then let's just do it in a
We just
basic
go like that.
folder.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So I just literally created a folder here called Playwright.
Okay, so open it in VS Code.
Okay, which I have. That's this.
Cool.
So what do we start with generally?
So do you want to share your VS Code screen?
Am I not sharing my VS Code screen? I
No.
apologize. Now I am. Okay. This is like a stream mistake that I should not be making after many streams, but is it on the screen now? Are we good?
Yes, I can see your screen.
I like it. I apologize. All right.
Okay.
So
first thing you would do is install the VS Code extension.
Okay. Oh,
for a
VS
Playwright.
Code extension. That is fancy.
Of course. So search Playwright. And yes, that is the one. Yeah, but you take the one, obviously, verified by Microsoft.
The Microsoft verification, of course. Yeah. All right, cool. I like it. That was easy.
Cool. So now you don't have anything. You've just installed the extension, so that's why it's empty. Yeah. So now you want to install Playwright. So you can open the command panel in VS Code and type install Playwright.
Okay. Actually, I tend to do that like this. It's just npm install, right?
No, like don't do that, because then you go like
tell me.
Because if you're going to do VS Code, you do VS Code.
Okay.
So
okay.
Otherwise, we go to the terminal and then it's npx.
So you mean this, right?
No, I don't mean the terminal. I mean like the VS Code command panel, like when you're doing stuff in VS Code. So if you do install Playwright, you'll see it there. You have to spell Playwright correctly to get it.
Yeah, I have spelled this wrong a few times preparing for this stream. Okay, install Playwright.
So now stop. Right. So now you have the option if you want to choose all the browsers, Chromium, Firefox, and WebKit. So you can leave them. And then like if you're afraid of TypeScript, you can use JavaScript. We kind of say like just use TypeScript. You can still write JavaScript. You don't have to always write TypeScript, but you're getting all those types. So it's much better. So we recommend you keep with TypeScript, but I know some people might not want to.
Yeah, there's still some people a bit worried about it. I get
don't be worried. Don't be worried. Or maybe they don't have a compiler set up or something. I don't know, whatever.
Exactly.
But you can totally, like this, right? It just works out of the box. It's like it's built in, so just do it. And you just clicked.
Did I go too far? Too fast?
Yeah, you went too fast. So you missed the last one was the GitHub Actions workflow.
Yeah, so I did install that actually. Is that a problem?
Yeah, no, that's great. That's fantastic. So what that does is that means if you want to push this up to GitHub, it's just going to work. You don't have to do anything. It's going to run your tests on CI on every pull request.
Oh, that is awesome.
Out of the box, built in, bam.
That's the stuff you really need. Like this out of the box stuff is generally like this little extra DX magic is what makes people want to use this stuff. Because when you tell me, Tim, just set up some GitHub Actions, I'm like, no. Or how, or fuck, and when you just have it out of the box, that is just so nice. Yeah. And also now it's actually downloading the headless versions of these browsers, right?
Exactly.
Nice. I'm really testing my 4G here, but it seems to be fine.
Yeah, because for example, like I don't have Firefox on my machine. Nothing against Firefox, but I just don't use it.
I also don't think I have it.
Yes, but I still test against Firefox because it installs that browser instance for me, right?
Yeah. And so what is it getting? So it's getting FFmpeg, so which means it's going to be able to make a video of whatever we're testing, which is cool.
Okay, cool. So we have got basically everything up and running.
Wow.
And this is kind of like, we can go through that later. What we're going to do is use the VS Code extension instead of the terminal. We'll come back to the terminal later. But if you wanted to use the terminal, they're the commands. Yeah. So basically you have the GitHub folder, which has the GitHub Actions in it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do anything or touch that. It just works.
Nice.
But if you wanted to add component tests in there, that's where you'd add that.
That makes sense. Cool.
Then you have a tests folder with a basic example test in it. And we can basically just press the play button to run that test.
Should we just run this? That seems like something I want.
Just run that test and then tell me what you think or what's happening. Or you just go ahead and do it, and I'll tell you if you're doing it right.
I just saw a play button. I'm going to click it.
What do you think? What do you think? What was the experience like?
This just worked. It literally went to Playwright and checked if there was actually a Playwright in the title.
Yeah.
Whoa. Let me check this one. So did it now do both? Okay, now it did this one.
Yeah.
That is so easy. And is there some sort of reporting we can look at now?
So do you actually trust the test? I know I wrote that test. So do you actually really trust that test? Just because it's green doesn't mean your test really passed.
Well,
You
if
could
your
have wrote,
test sucks, then of course it can, you don't know,
it could
right?
be green, right? It could be just green. So you didn't see anything, right?
No,
Because you're
true.
running in headless mode. And that's how it
Exactly.
runs on the CI. It just does
Mhm.
that. But
Yeah.
if, as a developer, we want to see things, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a little show browser checkbox on the left-hand side, down at the bottom.
Oh,
So now if you go and rerun that test,
can I just go here to run all
yeah,
of them?
you can just go there. You can do whatever.
Whoa, whoa,
And
whoa,
you'll see it
whoa.
pop up, bang. And now you can visually see that your test actually run.
Oh, and so this is just playwright.dev. So it opened this browser and it checked, okay, do I have Playwright in my title? And what is the second test? Okay, follow the link. And so it just clicks get started and it expects it to have an intro in the URL.
Exactly.
So this is not in that state, but maybe if I click this again now.
So it's going to open that browser window. I think it's hidden your other browser.
Oh, yeah, here
window.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Nice.
Okay, so cool. So this is kind of like, you know, what you want to see when you're basically running your tests.
This is
Okay.
awesome.
Now, these are very simple tests. Let's take the example test. That's the bigger example of the to-do app, just so you can kind of really see it more. So in the test example folder, just move that into the test folder.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so now we have access to that on the testing sidebar or right inside VS Code itself. And we can run one of those and it will open the browser because it's remembered that you have the show browser checked.
Oh, cool. So let's have a quick look at what this is doing. So before each test, this is basically a little setup. So it goes to this for each test. And okay, that's it. And so then it has a few items. I'm assuming this is some sort of mock of the items you're going to use.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, this kind of feels like unit tests, but easier because you have so many helper texts. Like this stuff. This is so easy.
It's easy to read, and you can see we have testing library inspired API, like get by test ID, get by placeholder. Yeah. So if you're coming from that world, you already kind of know how to write your tests, and it's just super easy to just run through it and understand this test, right?
And so you have not done an import for this. So where is this coming from? Is this in the global context of Playwright somehow? Because if
I think it's just down at the bottom.
Okay. Oh, we have test, expect, and page type. Oh, this is probably a function that exists somewhere.
Yes, it's just at the bottom of the page. Exactly. So just checking that it's in local storage, we have that.
Yeah, I like this. Wait for function to run because it's. Oh, this is cool. Okay, shall we just run it? Let's
run one of those and let's see what you see.
Okay, opening the browser. There we go.
Okay, did you see it?
I saw it adding some stuff, like we have buy some cheese. Is that? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
And can you then see the other? Oh, and then I can actually do this, but this is just the app running now.
Yeah, well, you're just running it, but you can't, like, from this experience, right? It was so fast, you missed what the test was doing.
It was super fast.
Yeah, so what would you do to fix this issue?
I would say rather than running all of them, just run one so you can see a bit more. Okay, or there might be some there might be some magic. Okay. Oh, where did I click?
It's too fast.
Oh wait, that went really fast, but it works so well. So what is this? Oh, and then it marks it all. Okay, so there must be something in here to actually maybe record it or reveal for each test what it shows. Like I'm not used to these tools, and it seems like it's actually much better than I'm anticipating. So you might have to tell me.
I'm going to tell you because it's very new. It's literally only, yeah. So we don't have right now, not yet, but very soon we will have a way from VS Code to open this. But right now we're going to have to open our terminal. So we're going to open our terminal and we're going to run our test in UI mode. So npx playwright test --UI. This is going to open up our UI mode.
Okay, let's try this. There we go. Ooh.
Okay, so make that a bit bigger and just like put it as the full screen if you want, just for now. Okay, so now this is kind of like what you saw already in VS Code. You have all your tests in there. And in the middle is what many people, if they've seen Playwright before, they'll know it as the trace viewer, which normally we would have on CI. If something failed, you have a full trace of your tests. But now we've brought this into development mode. So now I want you to,
I'm just clicking this thing and see what happens.
Click. So what you've done is you've run all your tests, right? But you're not seeing anything because we're focused on a describe block or on the test file. So do you want to like click on one of those, expand like one of those tests? Okay, now look at that.
Holy moly. So you can actually see all the things. So go to page, find the placeholder, and then fill with what needs to be done. Oh, this is kind of locating it and then doing something to it, right? So these are all the steps of each of those tests.
Yes.
This is just magical.
Isn't it?
Like, this is kind of fun, right? Because I'm this old school coder and I have not really always seen any of this stuff. And then you just don't expect that. And it's all typed. And I can actually see my test below here and actually have a look.
Yeah. Oh, we're losing your audio a little bit.
Oh, it might be. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's back now, right?
Yes, yes.
I think I touched my cable. That's the problem when you have multiple items of gear. If one thing breaks, it all breaks. I'm sorry about that. Anyways, I said I can actually see my test here also in code, which is very cool.
And it's highlighting as you're hovering over it. It's highlighting the line of code, so you can read the line of code while you're seeing exactly what's happening.
Honestly, developers are going to like this a lot more than the older tools because it's
Now click on something. Click on one of the actions.
I click on this one. Yeah.
Okay, and then you can go in the middle. You can click on the before and after to see the state of at the top. Before and after, right? So you can kind of see what was happening before, what was happening after, what's the action. And you can pick a locator. So say if you wanted to maybe see what that locator was for debugging and stuff, you can just hover over this because this is a DOM snapshot. So you have access to it. Yeah.
So if this is a DOM snapshot, how does Playwright actually understand that here for this one, I have to do get by role, and this one is just get by text? Is it just understanding HTML?
Yeah, so Playwright is reading your code and taking the most accessible role that you have. So if you've written really good HTML, then Playwright's going to find the best locator. If not, it's going to have to find something else and do some filtering. So from where you are right there, there's a pop-out button at the very end of buy some cheese on the right. It's a little bit higher,
Oh, here. Oh, this one.
And okay, now you can just make that bigger if you want, just for now, just for a second. So this is your DOM snapshot. You can open Chrome DevTools. You can Oh,
you can actually, for this state, see whatever.
Yeah, the CSS, the console, the source, whatever. You could totally debug this, change the CSS and visually see it.
And so what is so cool, Playwright just inserted its own little attributes somehow. But it doesn't actually affect any of this because it's not HTML. It's just a thing that it connects to. That's cool.
So it makes debugging super easy because you're debugging the DOM snapshot of that state, and you can kind of see oh my God, someone put CSS hidden or something, and that's why it's not finding it, right?
Exactly. I'm quite excited by what is this? Is this just changing the URL? Oh yeah, I think we're very deep into something else, so I should not be distracted by my own whatever.
You're getting too excited.
Yeah, I'm just excited by what the heck is happening here?
Okay, you can close that window. All right, excellent. So At the very top, you've also got a timeline that you can hover back and forward, just in case you had animations you wanted to see and speed it up and
Whoa.
things.
And so these are just generated images, I imagine.
That's the images, yes.
And this is just in some local folder on my Mac, I imagine.
I'm guessing in a local folder. This is local, so yeah. You
Yeah.
just spun it up.
And so this is so cool. And so this is just running in Chrome. Yeah.
And then at the bottom, you have like, the console, the network, and the log of your test as well. So if you had any network requests in here, you'd see them. The log of what happened, the console, if you had any console messages. So you can have like, yeah, so you're trying to like, get something back. You can see if that was returned. You can see what Playwright was looking for and what came back.
So tell me, is this stuff that only Playwright does? Is this actually, like, to me, when I see this is literally revolutionary. I've not seen tests this good. Is this something that is normal in our space, or is it only Playwright that does this?
No, I think, yeah, there's other competitors out there who have done a great job in the UI mode. Errors might be different, have other extra features, etc. But there's definitely, we're not the only ones to have a visual way to see your tests run, but how we've done it is probably a little bit
this
unique.
is especially developer friendly. Like, I wonder if you are a QA person and you're not super technical, because you might have come from this manual QA background, this might go a little far. But it's maybe potentially not made for them. It's more made for developers.
It's for developers, yeah. Because developers are writing the tests more and more each day.
Yeah, true. That's true.
And speaking of writing tests, right? So when you're writing your tests, what you want to do is you want this to rerun automatically if you make changes to your code. Right?
Oh, yeah. So you mean, I'll put it back on the screen in a sec. So essentially what this means is that, because I only have one screen, so I don't see you the whole time that you talk to me. So I just put it back to see you for a sec. So you can actually write something and have it hot module reload the test or something like that?
Yeah, that's so old school.
Okay, tell me what is the new school. Tell me what is the new school, because
just call it watch mode. Just call it watch mode.
Let's just call it Watcher, because Watchers used to work in Grunt, in Yelp, or like Gulp. What was it again? And it worked in Webpack, and Snowpack. Okay, so we can make a Watcher. So every time you change your code, it will just directly retest, right?
Exactly. So do you want to share your screen again? I'll show you how to do that.
Clearly. Here we go.
So pick one of the tests you want to work on.
Somehow it always here. So adding a new to-do.
Okay, so click on that one. Right. So then click on the eye icon so you can watch this one.
Ooh, nice. That's so easy.
Okay, now click on the file icon next to it so you can open that test in VS Code.
Holy shit.
And then edit
what is
that
happening? Wait, let me just put this to the side. Okay, so it just opened the
right
first
on the
test.
Spot of where your test, where you opened. Exactly. So just do something very simple here, like create a new to-do locator and just put your name in there, just to kind of like really see how fast it kind of changes. So just put it in the comment, for example.
Oh, you mean like this?
Yeah, and then press save and then open up the other window really fast.
Okay. Oh, there it runs. It did it.
There it's running. Look, it's running. Done.
That's crazy. Okay, wait.
Okay, so now you can actually break something if you want to.
Let's break something. So now this placeholder is going to break.
Okay. See, that didn't, because you just deleted a letter, right? But it's unless you're going to put exact match. Playwright is still capable of finding.
Oh, does it do like a fuzzy match?
Yeah, so you can do exact if you wanted to. So you'd want to make something like that it doesn't match. If you could put what needs to be done, Tim, for example, it's not going to find that. But just removing a letter, it will still find it.
So it's hanging on this now?
It's going to hang.
Trying it?
It's trying to find it. It's going to retry, and it's going to say,
I like that it's smart like that. It's just retrying and figuring it out somehow.
Yeah. And then it's going to say, Tim is not on this page.
Okay, so can you choose in Playwright how long it takes to like retry this stuff?
Yeah, so you can modify everything in the config as you want to. But okay, so stop right there because it failed. Now, just to make things a little bit easier, right? Imagine you had a lot of failed tests and you want to, just focus on those. You can filter by failed tests. So over in the left, in the sidebar, let's just show only the failed tests. And now we can just focus like, okay, I need to go home and this is the only thing I need to do. So,
and so does it have like a sort of a message that says, okay, so we just know that this locator is just, because we know the fact that this is a locator, so it doesn't actually have to tell me something specifically. It's just, okay,
No,
the location wasn't found.
But what you can do is it's basically saying that the get by placeholder. So you can see on the page, what's going on, what Playwright is looking for. And this is how you can use your pick locator and then go to that placeholder and get the correct one.
Oh, because we know it wants this one.
Yeah, so now we can compare what we're looking at on our DOM snapshot compared to what's in there. And then we can press the copy button and then like open VS Code again, put it in there and fix our test.
Let's see how much it, okay, so it just grabs this.
Yeah, it grabs the locator. And
now
then it's going to rerun that. And now like it's gone from the sidebar, right? Because we're only focused on the failed test.
Exactly. So we don't filter on that. And so did it also do it on Firefox? Oh, yeah.
So it didn't run. You don't normally see it. But basically you could check, if you check the two of them, then you'll see like two tests and running under it. So if you like open one of them out.
I'm just trying to see. So now it's just running on two. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but now you can see it, right? So you can see the Chromium and then the Firefox. And you can visually see if one was failing on one and not the other. You could inspect the two of what was going on.
It seems to have to warm up a little bit for Firefox.
Yeah, because we didn't run any yet for Firefox, whereas Chrome had already run, so it's already had everything cached.
Honestly, this is the funny thing about this. Like, you don't expect it to have this many rich, amazing features. So if I had done this on my own, I would probably not have found this. So I'm really happy that you're showing me this stuff before we actually do something.
Yeah, so let's do something now. Let's write a test. Now that you know like the development process, you kind of understand how to get started and stuff, but now you want to write a test. So we can do it straight in VS Code by clicking the record new, and we can put it in this repo. That's fine.
So do we make a new file though, or not?
You can just click the button and it's going to do it for you.
Which button?
The record new button. Yes, record new. Now you go. Look, new file created. Imported Playwright.
Again, I just don't expect this awesomeness to exist. So I cannot even imagine that this happens. This is crazy. Oh, and you can actually choose a locator, but we probably have to tell it go to something, right? Or do I literally just go to a URL now and it does
go to the URL? So paste the URL that you want to test. Yeah.
Oh.
That's the wrong side. That's not good. That's a better side. Okay, cool. So now what do you want to test? So you can just like for this purpose, just kind of click around in some things. Maybe you want to test the menu, for example. Maybe you want to test the filters, whatever you think is something that you want to
test. What we can do for a new session, it says it looks like you're new here. So we don't have any personalization yet. So let's check the fact that if you just go to the page without any context, this shows. And then later on, we can test when you click on this one, we visit that and come back. This should not be there anymore.
Okay, so what I would do is I'd click it. Okay, it's now in your code.
Yeah.
Well, we clicked it, right? The user's not going to click it, but we'll fix that later. Okay?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So now what are you going to do? You're going to sign in or something or click around or...
Well, for now, what we can do is actually go to, let's say, this tutorial.
Okay.
And then when I come back to the homepage, this has then changed based on some personalization.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, but when I click this, it just finds a locator and puts it in my code, right? So you don't actually go there, or do you? Oh, you do. Yeah, I don't know. We'll fix it later because we don't need that hash text. Okay, cool. I'm one of those people that just assume stuff quickly and then like, oh, maybe that wasn't true. Anyways,
Yeah.
so we just went to this thing and then we go back
Okay.
home. And now that I'm home, you see it
It
says
says
somewhat
oh
complex.
yeah, I see. Okay, cool. Then you can click on that as well.
Yeah, because that's interesting to see that when you went to
Yeah.
a relatively like an intermediate tutorial, it then comes back and says, okay, now you're no longer new. You have watched something and that was intermediate. So I think this is a good start for the first test.
Okay, so let's cancel the recording.
You just hit cancel here. Okay.
Yeah. And now you have your code written, right?
Holy moly. I'm just going to make this slightly smaller so we can see a bit more. Okay, here we go.
We have a little error here because you went to the page wrong and stuff like that.
Yeah, I made a boo-boo.
Yeah, so delete that and then put the rest. Yeah, exactly.
This recorder is insanely cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. Now, it does only record user actions. So you are going to have to write assertions for anything that you want to assert.
Exactly,
right?
That makes sense. So we don't have to do this one because this is what I clicked to go to that other tutorial.
Well, hang on a second. What we need to do is understand what we've done. We've went to the page.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have a page get by role heading. It looks like you are new here. And we clicked it. You can't see this. If you want to like maybe close the sidebar on the left, it might make it easier to see.
Oh yeah, I'll just do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes, exactly. There's a click action here.
Exactly. So you don't want that to be a click. You want basically an assertion here. So you want to expect it to be visible, for example.
Yeah. So now we can kind of just do, well, now we have TypeScript. So.
Well, the expect goes at the very start.
Ah, okay.
Not the very, very start, but after the wait. And then wrap.
It does have that. That's cool.
Yeah. And then just exactly. And then you can kind of say dot two.
Dot two?
No. At the end of the brackets, like you want to expect this locator. I expect this locator.
Of course.
And now we've got all this TypeScript is giving us everything, right? So to be checked, to be closed to be disabled, to be editable, what do we want here? And you can see all the options.
I think the to be on its own and just a string, would that work?
I would say to be visible is better.
That actually makes sense, yes.
And then exactly, perfect. So now we're going to expect that heading is visible. And then as a user, what we're going to do is we're going to get by the role of an article. We're going to filter those articles for one that has the text of view 3, learn how to make it composable. And then we're going to click on that.
So that's actually correct.
Yeah, because that's going to take us to the next page.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we wanted to see if the header get by role. So we didn't check anything on the other page, right? But we could have.
We just went there for now.
Yeah, we could check that the URL is correct or whatever, but that's okay. We can do it later. And then we went to the header and we clicked on the home. That's great. And then we wanted to check that the heading, somewhat complex stuff, exists. So.
Yeah, so it's literally the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So this would essentially do it, right? Or do we need more?
Yeah, no, this could totally do it. You could also make sure that it looks like you are here. It doesn't appear because sometimes we make mistakes, right? And we show two headings, the good one and the one from the previous one. So you could also expect it not to be visible, right?
And so in this case, visible. Does this work? No, this is, oh wait. To be not visible, I guess.
I know there's to be hidden.
Well, this was my question. If I do hidden, does it check CSS to be hidden or just that it doesn't exist in the DOM?
I don't know. Let's give it a try and see.
Yeah, because this now just doesn't exist. So it might not even be able to locate it. Okay, should we just...
Exactly. So let's check it out and see. And if not, we'll say, if not, we'll do a not. We'll find out what the opposite of to be visible is. So
Where
You
do I
can,
test it now? In the
so
UI?
yeah, you already have UI mode running. So you can just open UI mode and your test should automatically appear down at the bottom.
Nice.
And you could even filter, say you just wanted turbo and you only wanted to focus on that test, you could write in turbo, and now you're just getting, those ones.
Let's just do this first. Just keep it simple.
Yeah. Let's see if it works.
Interestingly,
So
it doesn't have the picture.
yeah,
And
so look, we have an issue. So it's waiting for the somewhat complex stuff and it's not finding it. So you've got to figure out now why it could not find it. What went wrong?
Did you set me up for this?
Totally not. But this is a great experience because we can see, like, because you can go back and forward, you can really see.
This is just great.
And we're looking at the after because you clicked on after. So you can go back and click on action. So you can see what was actually clicking, the red dot. So that's what Playwright clicked, right? What
Holy
happened?
crap. That is so good.
Yeah.
I'm being floored by this.
So what happened after Playwright clicked that link? What happened next?
It just clicked on the home rather than
clicked on the
waiting
home.
for it to go to a new page.
Because we didn't do the go to page, right? So,
yes.
but it's fine because it still passed, right? So it's still, here is still okay.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Then it hasn't done the personalization yet. So this is just
because
great.
it hasn't gone to the other page. Then it's still on this. It looks like you're new here because we haven't left that page yet.
Exactly. Okay. I'm excited to solve this. So you would think if it just clicks on that thing that it just goes to a page, but you actually have to tell it to go to a page. So how do we get the link for this?
Well, normally it does just do it. So this is strange. How is your app built? What is it changing in the URL?
Oh, this might be a Nuxt link. Maybe no, it's not a Nuxt link.
It doesn't matter if it's a Nuxt link.
No,
it's totally fine. It doesn't
Okay,
matter.
let me
This
check.
is a production build. All you just, as a user, all you got to do is just click it and see what happens when you click it.
And so essentially, it's a header 3 with a link inside, and it goes to
fine.
slash tutorials.
So when you click it, what happens in the URL?
Just that. Oh, but it could be that this is now, because this is a static render single page app with Nuxt 3 in alpha mode of Nuxt 3. So maybe we actually have to go to the page, because maybe this is one of those things that it's in the Nuxt payload somehow, and it just doesn't actually go to a page, but it's just a single page app that refreshes itself or something.
Yeah, because Playwright was not getting there. Because remember, Playwright's like super fast. So if you were to like click that at the speed of Playwright and then click the home button, what would actually happen?
Yeah, so let's try that.
You won't be able to. You're just not fast enough.
I cannot do it.
You'd have to like go to 3G network and kind of then test that out and see what happens if you kind of slow down your website. What is actually happening to that website? And then you can kind of understand, is my JavaScript doing something? Is there something about the page loading doing something?
Okay, so it now is 3G.
Okay. So now we're going to click the view 3 and then we're going to jump to home very fast.
It did it.
Yeah, but you were so slow at clicking the home.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Like,
Let me just reset my profile. Oh, what we can do to help this out a little bit is this.
You're on fast 3G. You could totally do.
Am I on fast 3G? Okay, wait, let's change that. Where's my network? Slow 3G. All right.
Yeah. So now, just to kind of see and understand what's going on, this is like your kind of way of debugging.
Yeah, there we go.
So
this did it. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's what Playwright is doing. So as a user on a slow 3G network, that's the experience you are giving your users.
Oh, it's so bad. It's such an alpha website, but we know this.
So there's a problem here, right? You can fix your code, which you're not going to do today.
Well, how would you fix this? Because this is literally a Nuxt build with a link to a page. There's nothing more you can do there, right?
I would update to the latest version of Nuxt.
Oh, that would help. I know
because
that.
I'm sure this is something that is fixed, and I'm sure if you test out another website on Nuxt, you won't find this problem.
I can probably, agreed.
But at the moment, we need to fix this. So what is our best way of fixing this?
Maybe a timeout somehow.
Yeah, you could do a timeout here. You could kind of like, make sure that it waits a couple of seconds. So you're just going to write stuff, aren't you?
I'm one of those, but I'm not going to do that
Yes.
now. Now that you told me, I'm going to wait.
So I would go to the docs, right? Because I work in docs and I like people to read the docs, because the docs have the answers. Or you could ask ChatGPT if you really wanted to. I don't know if it give you the right answer though. No, it'll totally give you the wrong answer, I'm sure of it.
Okay, let's not do it then. Okay, cool.
I mean, no, you could try it. Let's give it a try. See what it says. What are you going to ask it? I'm writing tests with Playwright. This is the biggest problem for people, right? They're like, I don't know how to use ChatGPT.
Yeah, exactly. It's really hard to actually write something.
But it's not. It's if you're just asking me a question. The problem is that people don't know how to ask the right questions.
Exactly.
So just pretend you're asking a question to a senior developer. How would you ask that question? I mean, that's not a bad way of writing a question, but you could have been it better, because, you could have said, now this is like giving you out kind of loads of stuff, but you can see a test timeout there. It's really kind of terrible color-wise, but
yeah. Test before each, that go to my test after each. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
but like a question like this, a senior person would likely just explain it like this as well, right?
Yeah, but you could have like basically said that the problem you're having is navigation, that you're basically like trying to navigate to a page, and it's not Playwright is too fast to go there. You need to slow it down. So yeah, you can do test timeouts and things like that. You can also read the documentation on timeouts and see how to do it for specific cases.
You know what? The way I asked this question is actually interesting, because you and me, we are, at least for me, I know for a fact, but you also, I think, we're millennials, or at least on the old side of the millennial spectrum, we are both. And we tend to be, millennials tend to just go deep and try to find something out. And then when it fails, they ask a question in the context of what they've been trying to learn.
Yeah.
Where if you're younger, or at least I've seen with my colleagues that are not like me, they would just stop earlier and then ask the right questions early, without having all that context, because somebody who's senior doesn't want to wait for 2 minutes of explanation and then ask a question, right? And so this is a very typical thing for someone like me to do. Already in it, give me a detail.
Yes. Okay. And ChatGPT was pretty good. So we've got that like set,
that's nice.
Timeout. So it's good to know that. But it's always good to look at the docs, right? When you're using ChatGPT, just also kind of like open the docs and compare, make sure that it's actually giving you the correct.
I feel like we're gonna have to say that about anything with ChatGPT, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, but obviously, like, verifying is important.
So you can expect something to be visible within a certain amount of time.
Exactly.
Or you can click and probably wait with clicking, or wait after clicking, one of those.
Yeah, so you've got to decide now, which one do you want? Do you want to add it to the click? Do you want to add it to the expect?
Because we could potentially do this, right? On this click, we could do something like that. But from these docs, I don't know if it waits before or after.
Right, well, let's have a look and check. I think you could also click and learn more in the docs on that, but you're not going to read. I know you, so.
Where learn more?
In the, you'd have to like click on the timeout API stuff, but
you know me. We're just gonna.
I know, and you could like scroll down and read examples, and let's just go with it.
It is cool though. These docs are actually really good. This is something I would read if I needed to know a bit more and I didn't have you, for sure.
Okay. So you're in watch mode, so it should already have rerun if you saved
I'm not in
it.
watch mode. Now I am.
Oh, you weren't in watch mode. Okay. You can just rerun it again. So you can see like it's kind of timing out. It's stopping for a second. And no, we still had a problem. So we still didn't get there.
Yeah, so what I think it did, it waited before clicking.
Yeah. I'm actually not sure. We'd have to read the log to kind of see that. But
oh, we can read the log. That's cool.
So it's the wait time, the duration, expression to be visible, but it's not there because that's not where you have the problem. The problem is in the one above. It's not above that again. Wasn't it?
This one. You're right.
Yeah. So this is the problem one. So this one, timeout 5. It's waiting for the GitURL article by link, attempting to click the action, waiting, an element is visible, scrolling into view if needed, performing click action done, waiting for scheduled navigations to finish, navigations have finished.
So it seems like it might have been waiting before and then clicked it. But this is not super clear. Shall we just quickly try this one? Not sure that's the right way to go, though.
I mean, if you're putting it there, you know that the action is going to happen right at that moment. And let's see what happens with that. It could be also the timing. It could be a mixture of things. But let's give it a go. You're in watch mode, so it should just run automatically. And let's see what happens now. No, it's still not working. So that timeout is not working for you.
Okay. And then it went to home. So but the timeout is not actually shown in any of the actions here.
Yeah. So what we can do is that we can also like I was going to say we can like, forget about everything else and focus just on this and add and expect the URL to have changed. And then we don't have to worry about, is it the header? Is this the problem? Because we know what the problem is. So we can kind of isolate that down and kind of say, right.
So that means we can do this. And then here's something. Can we expect that? Okay, wait. I should stop just typing. Maybe let you finish.
No, totally. That's totally fine. You can actually record a cursor, which is something that in the middle of a test, if you wanted to add something, you can open the testing toolbar and click on record at cursor.
Yep.
Right. Oh, and now click on this one. Click on what you want to click on, the view to relearn how to. Right. And now you should have that URL. So you can copy that URL. The URL is what you want.
Yep.
Okay. And so now you can just cancel, and then just cancel. Yeah. So we did an extra move in there. We've already got this. We didn't kind of want that, but now we can kind of, we got our URL, right? So you can now say the await expect page.
Oh. Oh, what's happening?
Yeah. And
so what do we expect? How can we check that URL?
Oh, good question. So we want to expect, you can actually go to the example test and see what's written in there, because the example test has exactly that in the getting started link. You can click on the actual file icon, which opens the file. Yeah, but not the demo, the actual example one.
This one.
Yeah, and click on the file icon, and that will open the test for you.
Oh, the file icon.
Right. So you can see you want to expect the page to have URL, and then you put that URL in there.
Okay.
So you were just missing to close. You need to close those brackets because you're expecting the page. That's your locator, is the whole page.
Oh, you're not like yes. So like this.
Yeah, but to have URL.
Okay. It makes so much sense when you read these variables, right?
TypeScript is giving it to you there as well. right? And then you can like just kind of hide everything else, like uncomment out all the rest of the stuff, right? Because we don't need any of the rest. We can just focus on this and say, right, this is really what we want to happen, right? So
Yes,
let's see if this
after
happens.
this, we can check the personalization by do another go-to or something.
Exactly. We can just continue the test by clicking on the home link. But for now, we want to do this. So we've saved that, and our test has passed.
Okay, I want to see what happened though.
Exactly.
So it found this, it clicked on that, but then oh, the URL is there, but the page is not.
You see, now there's your problem.
What is this? Oh man. I wish I would have you shouldn't have used this website apparently.
I think it's great. This is fantastic. How many other people are going to have this problem? This is This is like your hydration hasn't happened yet, right?
This must be it. It's something to do with hydration. Yes.
So we need to wait for hydration to happen. And basically for that to happen, I mean, I don't have the answer to this at the top of my head, but you're going to have to like slow down. When we get to here, you're going to have to like, because we've got to the navigation, we've got to the page, but we're not on the page yet, right?
Yeah. You know what I would like to check? Like if I go to that web page, right, this one, and I turn off the JavaScript completely, does it actually work?
Probably not.
It does. There you go.
Okay.
Oh, wait, it's still on the slow 3G.
Yeah.
So JavaScript is now turned off. Okay, so the Algolia stuff doesn't work. That makes sense. But going to like a tutorial, yeah, the YouTube doesn't work. That also makes sense. There's a few JavaScript things going on. But essentially, you need to go from page to page. This should just work.
Yeah.
Also in Playwright.
Well, something is stopping it. Something in your...
Yeah, but we know this is like this is like Alpha Nux 3, when it wasn't even version 3 yet. Right? You can probably check which version it is. Oh, I don't have it here. No, but like it's already, we are in for an hour now. So what should we do? Should we fiddle around a little bit more to see if it works, or do we need to show some more magic of what we can actually do with all this?
I'm a little intrigued now. I'm going to see like how can we get Nux to hydrate that page. And now that we've got to this and we kind of know that it is going to the URL, so we're kind of at a good state right now. The test is passing. So let's continue a little bit and see.
Okay.
So from here, and I'll check my calendar, make sure I don't need to be anywhere else. From here, can we slow this down and see if we can load something on that page?
So would that be just another timeout then?
Yeah, let's add a timeout in here, and let's kind of let's time it out and then see if that page stays there, and we can check for content on that page before we click on the home.
Let's just try this one then. Like 5 seconds should be enough, right? If we do it like this, oh wait, maybe it's already running.
Yeah, but what we're going to need to like make sure that something on that page exists for like to really kind of see if it's waiting, because there's nothing to wait, right? That test is ending, so it's like
so what we need to do is probably go to that page and see what should be there.
Yeah,
so
and we can.
It needs to find this title essentially, right?
Yeah.
But do we do that in the recorder, perhaps?
You can do it in the recorder.
So it's already on this page.
Yeah, so just click it, and then like we can, and then we can turn it into an assertion. So just wrap it in the expect, and then put it to be visible instead of click.
Oh no, not like this. And then that one is like this.
Yeah.
I must say, this is especially the recorder and also the naming of the function is so easy.
I know.
You can, like, if you didn't have a shitty website like this, you can teach this to anyone.
I think when websites are not functioning, it's even better because then you can really understand like what's going on and how to fix things. So so here we've got our log, and it's basically saying that learn how to make computable get by role, blah blah blah. Expected to be visible with timeout. Waiting for get by text. It is not getting it, so it's not getting to that page.
Did we write this? This is actually correct, right? So we wait for 5 seconds, and then this should actually be visible after going to this URL.
So something we can try is, like, this is not working first. This timeout is not working, right? And
we could potentially just do this and go. Actually, what we could do to just make sure that we can actually figure out this personalization business is just, let's just go to this URL.
Put it in there and see what happens, because this is all about like debugging and then you can kind of see.
So we expect this to be visible, and we get and we don't click this one.
Right.
What I do want to do is like, okay, we know this title is there. Then we go to this URL.
Okay, now, and then we
expect this one to be visible, essentially.
Let's go. Let's see if this works, and then we'll correct
it. Cannot be simpler than this, right?
Yes. Well, let's see if your app is doing what it should be doing.
If it doesn't do this, I don't know what the heck is going on. Okay, it does it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So one thing we could probably try, because what we're seeing here is that the navigation is working. If we do a go to, Playwright's going to it.
Exactly.
But if we're clicking, we're not re-rendering that page for some reason, right? So if we go to the docs, and let's search for navigation. And let's just open this. So we're having problems with the navigation, right? So let's have a look and see, is there anything in here that can help us?
Oh, look, we can do some stuff like that.
So we already done our navigate to. That's working for us.
Yes. Oh, look at auto wait. Interesting.
And that's why it was working for us, because it was auto waiting, but that's not happening on the click.
Exactly.
So in lazy loaded pages.
That's essentially what this is, right? Yeah. Okay,
exactly.
Wait. Here. So you can do go to and then wait for this to be visible. That's relatively similar to what we have now, right?
Well, navigate and click elements. So click will auto wait for the element, right? So click was kind of doing that.
Yeah. It's actually after this.
Yeah, so in the scenarios below, locator.click initiates a navigation and then waits for the navigation to complete. Right, but we were getting a issue, so can be combined with page wait for load state to wait for a loading event. Or wait for element. In lazy loading pages, it can be useful to wait until an element is visible with the locator.wait for.
Okay, so maybe this is something. So we click on login, and then we wait for something to be visible.
So let's add this.
So essentially, we just have to add the wait for, right?
Yes.
Okay, wait.
And let's see if this works.
Okay, so we don't have this one anymore. So we click on this thing.
Okay. And then we want to make sure that the heading, so we're going to wait for that heading. Yeah, let's wait for it. So now just take out the double dot.
So expect this heading on that page.
I don't think we need the expect, because we're not expecting, we're actually just waiting.
We're literally just waiting for the thing to be there.
We're saying like, I want to wait until you appear. And I'm not going to do anything else until you appear.
And then after that, how do we actually...
Well, let's see if this works first.
Yeah, let's see if this works.
Let's see if it waits for it, right? Because we've removed the go-to page.
Okay, it is failing. Okay, let's see. We find this. We click this. There's the action.
Yeah.
And then we wait for this to... Oh yeah, but I think it found the link on the same page here.
Then that's strict mode. So that's a
Yeah.
problem. That's a different problem. So
Yeah,
you
but
can
it
have
actually didn't go there. It just, like, clicking on this doesn't make it go.
yeah,
So
but
strange.
because we're waiting for, and it's already like kind of found something.
Okay, so maybe we should, let's just do this, because I just want to see. It clicks this, what happens? Can we see that in the...
Probably not, because it's clicked it, and then you can click on the after if you want to click the action before and after. So it didn't do anything.
Nope.
Right, but we saw.
Oh yeah, it just scrolled down essentially to click it.
Yeah, but we saw previously that it did go, because this is ending here, but it normally goes to that next page. And when you
strange,
isn't it?
Well, it's good that we tried this and didn't prepare before, because we have magical content here where you can see all the variations that you can do with this tool. I think this might not have been the best thing.
You can do a wait for navigation as well.
Shall we try that? Okay,
yeah.
Let's do this. And after that, I think it's about time for me to start making dinner.
Yeah, and then you've got to like figure this out on your own. But
I'm gonna figure this out for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
We still click on it, right?
Yes, we click on the view 3.
And we made, oh, this might not exist.
Oh yeah, this is deprecated.
But it might still work.
It will still work, but yeah, it's deprecated because we don't use wait for navigation anymore. But we just do wait for, which we tried.
Which didn't work. We can try this. And then we wait, and then we check if it actually has this URL. Okay, here we go.
Right, so this is working.
Right, it's okay. We go, we click, and we wait for navigation. So there's the URL.
Yep.
But then the page hasn't actually reloaded.
So the problem isn't the navigation, right? So this is just ways of you understanding what's wrong with your application. So Playwright is able to say, I'm waiting for the navigation, but I've navigated there. I'm there. What do you want? So
yeah,
really,
because it made the browser go there. It's all good.
Yeah.
It is just Nuxt that doesn't rehydrate. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, so you're gonna have to like wait for that to be visible on the page, wait for loading, for example. So it's not a navigation issue, which is cool, because we've now figured out this is nothing to do with navigation. This is to do with waiting for something to be visible on the page. So you could set a timeout there and then see if it actually loads.
I'm just quickly asking ChatGPT just to say.
Wait until.
Yeah. Playwright can wait for JavaScript hydration to finish to use this wait until option with the page go to. Wow, this is so bad to read. Okay, wait. Describe, blah, blah, blah. Page go to, wait until network idle.
Yeah, so we saw that before.
Yeah, but page go to, we knew that's worked already.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different. But we can put wait, we can add a timeout in there and see if it's gonna load. But basically that's what's happening. The navigation is working exactly as expected, but we're still not getting that.
Let's just wait for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, and let's see if
it expects the URL to be this. So actually this, well, we can remove this.
Yeah, that
this
works.
should actually not fail now, because it clicks on it, it waits 10 seconds, and the URL should be that. If that doesn't work, then it might be that Nuxt link does some magic in the alpha version of Nuxt 3.
I don't think it's a Nuxt issue as such.
It's unlikely that it's a Nuxt issue. It's just super unlikely.
So that's working, right? That is passed. Kind of. There's a couple of network issues in there. That's what those red things are. So you can actually check those out in your own time. But this has gone to it, right? So
You know what I think is actually happening now that I'm thinking about this? This is also, and I'm going to just stop the screen share because there's time is flying. What I think I found, I think I know. Why are we look at this? Why would somebody post this in the chat?
I don't know, but why would you highlight it?
Just because it's stupid. Anyway, what I wanted to say is what I think is happening here is this is Alpha Nuxt, which is fine, but it's also the alpha version of Uniforms SDK for personalization on Nuxt. And also, this is running on the Vercel Edge. And so this is a combination of edge rendering with a middleware with an alpha version of the uniform way to rehydrate few components based on personalization. And so sometimes it happens on the server or the edge. So without JavaScript, it also personalizes, but then it rehydrates. And what this might be is the fact that the HTML that is rehydrated doesn't match the server. And so it probably hydrates it twice or something like that, because I knew we had this issue before. It's solved now, but this is such an old version. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah. Well, at least you know that we've gone through the processes of how you would debug it to find what is the issue, what is the problem, and how you can then fix it if you have those hydration errors, and go through each one and kind of say, oh, it's not the navigation, it's not this. But it's a nice. I enjoyed that. It was a nice debugging.
Well, we were lucky that it broke in such a bad way that we actually had to dive in, because this is
we
like,
couldn't have planned that.
Yeah, but this website was living on the edge. I had to build it.
It was living on the
while
edge.
we were building SDKs, and while I was on the phone with Daniel Rowe from Nuxt for this project every day, because we were building Nuxt features based on how I actually experienced what we were building. So I don't know. I might have also just built something bad. This is possible.
I mean, a lot of developers actually do have bad code, and sometimes that is the problem. And sometimes you can find these things. Like I found it for a conference website, the menu, and I was like, I test Playwright's not working. But actually, if I run it in 3G and slow 3G, if the user had bad internet, they also were not getting when they clicked the menu.
That?
So if you fix the JavaScript, you fix the issues.
Exactly. And you know what? I thought I didn't do bad code, and I likely didn't, but the combination of all the things in alpha state and the weirdness with the personalization makes this not work. It's 100%
yeah, and it's hydration is always something that's needs to be checked out.
We can check one thing. I'll share the screen 1 second, because you know what we could probably check if we actually have console errors for hydration. For Bose, let's see. Look, that's just something like comments. That's not it. I think probably in production mode, it's not complaining about the rehydration issues.
Yeah, because it's only when it's really slow that it was having those issues. But you need to go into dev mode and kind of see those errors.
But that's not for today, the local host.
That's another day.
That's another day. All right. You know what? Even though we were not particularly successful in running the tests, I learned a ton. And also, I liked what I say. I'm going to be adding this to projects. It's actually fun to do, because if the tooling is this good, writing tests is going to be satisfying.
That's
of course, you have to have a good website, but there you go.
Yeah, and it's quick and easy as well to just get something done. Even if you test only one thing, like the navigation, right? Just even writing that one test to your website, and then put that GitHub Actions, upload everything to CI, and next minute, all of a sudden, your tests are running. Every time you change your code, it's just going to run. That's the cool thing.
I like it. So because I'm actually starting a little side hustle selling stickers, and I just built some website for that. It's not finished yet. I'll be putting that in here. 100%.
Yeah, that's a good one to test.
Great. Yeah,
you want money? Test the money.
Exactly. Well, it's one of those websites where you can upload your sticker, and then we show you the A4 sheet, and you can drag a slider to see how big your sticker fits on the sheet, and you can have 20 or 5 based on the size. Well, there's a whole bunch of algorithms going on. It's like, if I slide this, I see 16 or 5. How do I test that? Right? This is a Playwright thing. Easy.
Cool.
I like it.
Nice.
Well, time
Excellent.
flew. It's always with us. We'll just
Yeah.
go and then have fun. And so thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Where can people find you?
Debbie.codes is my website, and from there, all my social links is easier to find me there. You see on the screen, Debs_O'Brien on Twitter. I'm also on Blue Sky. Woo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Debbie.codes. You can get all the links from there. And
Yeah, here. There we go.
yeah, you'll find me everywhere.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. And it was lovely seeing you. And I hope to see you soon. But I think we're both pretty busy with events.
Yes,
So
we are very busy, but we'll find some
when.
time and do something again.
We
Maybe I
will,
can
all right.
correct the test you write for that site.
That's highly likely that you will do that, because I'm from the world of unit tests with like I forgot the test runner. That's how bad it is. Let's not talk about it. I'm in shame. All right, thank you so much, Debbie, and speak to you soon. Cheers. Build stuff.